Hello, Miss Williams. I am doing my video assignment. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry, because everybody's asleep. But let's see. Okay, I've never done a video assignment, so bear with me. All right. So I picked Goody Blake and Harry Gill. Okay, let me just, right here. All right. So Goody Blake and Harry Gill is a poem by William Wordsworth, and it's very sing-songy. The way it's written, I quite enjoyed reading it. I read it a few times, actually. And it's about these two characters, Harry Gill and Goody Blake. Harry Gill, it is introduced in the very beginning of the poem, has this crazy thing where he is always cold. He can never get warm, even in the summer, even with heat, fire. He can never get warm. We don't know why. Then, later on in the poem, we meet Goody Blake, who is a poor old woman. She works very, very hard all day, 3 hours at night, and it still just will not ever make ends meet. And according to the poem, one day she goes and steals firewood from Harry Gill, who then seeks vengeance on her. So the next time she goes to steal firewood from him, he catches her and holds her captive, holds her arm. He says, "I've caught you then at last." Then Goody, who had nothing said, her bundle from her lap let fall, and kneeling on the sticks she prayed to God that is the judge of all. After she prayed her prayer, oh my gosh, I cannot say their names. Harry Gill can no longer be warm. His cold heart turned into being actually cold. I think a good theme for this poem is greed, because Harry Gill, who has everything, cannot be generous enough to give Goody Blake even a few sticks of firewood, and in return, God sees favor on Goody, not Harry, because Goody has nothing, and she works just as hard as he does. But because she doesn't have anything and he has all he needs and more, God seeks favor on Goody and gives Harry the inability to be warm because he has a cold heart. Let's see. Give 2 or 3 examples in the poem where this is evident. So, oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's see. So that was our main example, is when he catches her. It also says that he's a lusty drover. A drover, I looked it up, is someone who takes cows or sheep to the market, and considering that the word lusty is in front of it, I would say that means he's money hungry. So that's another example of greed. And then I would also say where it's talking about I get 3? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. He stood behind a bush of elder till she had filled her apron full. And when with her load she turned about the byway back again to take, he started forward with a shout and sprang upon poor Goody Blake. So that's when he catches her. But yeah, I think greed is a really good theme for this. Or even good versus evil, saying that Goody Blake is, the faithful, she's faithful to God, and she's faithful to her work, even though it doesn't bring her financial freedom. Whereas Harry Gill is selfish, and he is greedy, and he is just not a good person. Let's see. What did you think? Let's see, I told you that already. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to make sure I hit all the points. So the poem I feel like is relatable today. The last two lines say, "Now think ye farmers all, I pray, of Goody Blake and Harry Gill." Actually, let me go back a little further. So the last stanza says, "No word to any man he utters, a bed or up to young or old, but ever to himself he mutters, poor Harry Gill is very cold. A bed or up by night or day, his teeth they chatter still. Now think ye farmers all, I pray, of Goody Blake and Harry Gill." And I think that the way to relate this to today is like, you have to think about your audience. But for me, I relate to Goody Blake personally, because I work my butt off constantly, and I feel like I barely make ends meet. I work 2 jobs, I go to school, and I'm scraping my bank account every week. So, if I need food, I probably wouldn't steal it. But, like, if I saw somebody had, like, a whole bunch of food, and I asked for some, and they didn't give me any, even though they had more than plenty, I might be a little upset. Because there are days that I just don't eat until I get home. Like, straight up. I'm off track. Oh, relativity. So I think that in the last stanza, it's warning wealthy men, the farmers, wealthy men, or people who of wealth, people who have what others don't, to be generous and to be giving and kind to the people who work hard but don't have the same privileges, because it could one day come back and bite them in the butt, like it did Harry Gill. They could never be warm again. So I think that's really where it relates to real life, but also, just being able to relate to Goody Blake as well, at least for me. She's pitied by her town, because she lives alone, and she's old, and she's got shaky bones, and she works and works and works, So, yeah. I really liked this poem. I liked reading it. I probably read it out loud like 2 or 3 times just because it's so sing-songy. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's my video presentation. This has been interesting. I've never done a video presentation. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling and umming, and I'm gonna stop this. Bye!